Okay. So yeah, we're back to downscaling. Hello, hello, hello. Again. Hi. So we started a stream, and then we left. But now we're back. But then we'll leave again. But then we'll be back one more time. You know what I love? No encounters. Hey, Preacher. What's up, dude? Halo 5 in a month? 2 months? I actually don't remember. Soon. Possibly on the PC. I don't actually know if that's true or not. Like, I really don't. Excuse me. Hello, 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 Schmeidolf. What's up? So, as anybody who is just joining us can see, we're in the Luna Subterrane, soon to be in the Crystal Core. It is time to finish the game. Remember, Javan, do not kill. Do not be killed. Yeah, Preacher, there's been a few negatives. Bunch of positives. Probably still some positives to come, in all honesty, but, you know. I mean, we haven't even reached the epic climactic last boss, or the finale, or, hey, it's Ragnarok. The power of this sword is abhorred by Zemus, and so must never be set free. More fuel to the fire of my theory that the Eidolons that are summoned, that are sealed here, if they are Eidolons, are bad guys who are on board with the let's wipe out the world plan. Like, if I was doing that prequel thing, I would probably have, you know, Dark Bahamut, or the Wyvern if you prefer, and Agapogo and all those fun guys actually be regular enemies. Or not regular enemies, but like some of the main antagonists of the prequel. By the way, we're lagging a little bit. Sorry, nothing I can do about it. I should summon Bahamut on Dark Bahamut. I still kind of prefer the name Wyvern for this guy. Whoops. Hey, Edge is dead. It's just a thing. No matter what I do, he's just dead. I mean, I've even put some decent gear on him. He's still dead. Uh-oh, guys, he cast Reflect. Fortunately, I have something that bypasses Reflect. Bahamut power! Or, I mean, I'm sure the actual sound effects are a little bit better. Is that at least... Oh, crap. Oh, crap. I didn't mean to do that. Hang on. Shoot, I didn't mean to move the window. There we go, we're back, we're back. Mega Flare kinda hurts. If I'm being honest, Rydia is dead. Jeez Louise. Hang on. Whoa! Okay, you know what? You know what? Hang on. Okay, this is looking bad. I'm actually kind of surprised by this. He actually hurts. It's almost like this is the hardest version of this game, and I haven't really been maxed and haven't really bothered to try any of that stuff, and it's actually hurting. I'm in shock. Yeah, the Edge death counter would be through the roof on this one. Okay, Kane's dead. But whatever. Yeah, Edge is definitely the... Oh my god, he is moving so fast! I can't even keep up. I literally can't keep up. He is taking so many actions per mine. Rudy is like, I got this again! And this is why I was really sad when Rydia was knocked out of the Final Fantasy tournament so early. In my honest opinion, Rydia is one of the strongest characters across all of Final Fantasy. I mean that sincerely. She's a ridiculously strong and skilled and intelligent black mage summoner. I mean, God. So, we got Ragnarok. Yay. Actually, I guess we've got all the crystal mail. We just don't have any of the other stuff. So yeah, that's 30 more attack power than the Excalibur. Hang on, so Protect Ring, Giant's Glove. Ignore that in the upper right. She has the ribbon. Yeah, I think we're as geared as we're getting, unless we go and farm onion gear. We're not going to do that. We might cheat in onion gear, but we're sure as hell not going to go farm it. Why? Well, I have no balls left, so... So any of you out there like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups? I know this is kind of out of nowhere. And it's not related to FF4. Kind of. It actually totally is. Chemic, the ending is about 14 minutes long, and I'm going straight to the last boss as of right now. There's nothing else. And I have no encounters on. So... Serious about what, Sean? Honestly, if I could run faster, this would be great, but whatever. Hello again, Elvis. Is it Elvis or Elevis? Or Elevus? Or Elevus? Or... Damn it, I can think of several ways to pronounce that. Oh! Okay, so you obviously weren't here for me grinding my balls off, but earlier I grinded my balls off. Seriously, off camera, never mind the tons of time I'm sorry, off camera, as of when I started keeping track, I spent 2 hours and... I forgot the number, it's like 2 hours and 24 minutes or something like that, grinding the rainbow pudding, and never got it. I never actually got it. I ended up using Cheat Engine to get it in just so I could show off the naming way quest. And FF4, especially the DS version, is a pretty grindy game. So, yeah. Elevis? I'm gonna go with Elevis. Yeah, I just want you to picture, like, the grindstone, okay? Like, the millstone. And, okay, so you just flop them down there, and then the blood just starts splitting out. That's Alright, cottage, because I don't remember if I used one earlier. I've got 95 cottages. I think I'm good. The reason I ask about the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup is, whoops. Edge isn't dead at the moment. He will be soon. Yeah, I know. Bizarre, isn't it, Jobin? Okay, the reason I bring up the Reese's thing is twofold. Number one, there's this thing called Butterfinger Cups now, which is basically, instead of having peanut butter inside the chocolate, it's Butterfinger stuff, right? Now, I actually really like that, which is especially funny because I have problems eating Butterfingers because of my teeth. I don't have bad teeth, but Butterfinger stuff just destroys my teeth. But it doesn't in this case, so yay! So I thought I'd just mention that. They're actually kind of hard to come by, at least where I live. Like, you literally can only buy them at the front of the gas station. You can't actually get them in the grocery store, which kind of sucks. That being said, I am bringing it up for a reason. Chocolate and peanut butter is often joked as one of those things where you merge two things and it just kind of works. Somehow. You know? Like, how many people out there were thinking, I can't wait to mix this kind of salty, mushy, you know, peanut butter crap into chocolate and it'll totally work, right? Well, I'm bringing this up because I feel like, while other games in the series certainly get this across better, FF4 feels a lot like the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup thing to me. Someone took, when this game came out, two things that really, you don't really think would actually fit well, or at least at the time, you didn't really think would actually fit together. The idea of the heavy character-focused, heavy story-based story existing in a video game. Now, I know that sounds like a joke nowadays because video games are have so much story potential and have such a high story focus, especially in the modern era. But back when this came out, video games having story was like ancillary at best, you know. And yeah, exactly, like the Bethesda formula, like the original Fallout and a lot of the other old. Now, FF4 is not, of course, the first game that came for this, but a lot of people, especially more console gamers, and I admit I am one of those people back in the day who was primarily console and then secondarily PC, because I had a terrible PC back in the day. We looked at a game, and the very idea of a video game having a story was just. I mean, picture this alongside even earlier games that had stories. Mega Man 2 had a story. I could summarize it for you in a single sentence, but it was there. Mario Brothers 3 had a story, and again, I could summarize it in a single sentence. You get where I'm going with this? Oh, I just realized I need to change music. Hang on. I'm surprised no one's asked about the music yet. Just a second. There we go. That is true. And that is also true, Alivis. But God, I love this song. But my point is, yeah, I've just had the SNES version playing on YouTube in the background. I'm amazed no one brought that up. But yeah, Zelda had a story, Metroid had a story, but in all of those cases, it was threadbare at best. It was practically non-existent. It was fully interpretive. It was more like they had a story in the sense that going out and playing in the backyard had a story, you know? It's true. There was something there. There were characters, there was a degree of plot and setting, but for the most part it was all up to you because they didn't bother putting the story in the game. Most of Zelda's story, the original Legend of Zelda, was in the manual, quite literally. So Final Fantasy IV came along and said, no. Let's do this in the game. And again, they were not the first one to do this. They weren't even the first one in the FF series. FF2 was the first one to really try that. But I really feel like FF4 was the first time they sat down and said, you know what, guys? Why don't we really go all out in this one? Why don't we really tell the tale we want to tell? Let's make a Final Fantasy. I've read a lot of interviews about the people who worked on Final Fantasy IV, and while there were some hardships, and it is a very flawed game, as I've been pointing out many, many times, I love this game. I still care about these characters, except for Edge. I still care about what happens to the people in it. I still care about the fact that after all these hardships and all these sufferings, you earn your happy ending at the end of this, you know? And I agree with what Samurai said. This was effectively a revolution in video gaming. Not the originator, not the first game to do it, but the codifier. The game that really made people realize, oh, we can do this. You know? Yeah, I didn't see what you saw, Preacher. It looks like it didn't go through. Dude, screw Edge. And I love this background, by the way. Look at that. You can actually see the actual core, the literal core, at the center of this massive artificial moon over there. You know what? Yeah. We're going to give another plus to the graphics. I know the graphics are getting an astonishing number of pluses, but honestly, this place is just an amazing looking set piece for the Final Dungeon. There's a reason this is one of my favorite Final Dungeons of all time. It's because the very idea of making your way to the center of the artificial moon and the crystalline core and all of this is just awesome, and I love the bricks. I love the crystal bricks. I love the core over there. I love it. I love it. I love it. When I was originally playing this on the SNES, I actually thought that the thing in the distance wasn't actually the core of the artificial moon. I thought it was like a sun, like we were literally in space, just looking out at a star. It wasn't, of course. I know that now, but that's part of what inspired me to design the crystalline home, which is the thing in the Empire. Wait, I only got the second part there, Preacher. At least I'm assuming that's the second part. Okay, so we'll go ahead and cut off the SNES music here. Man, I am getting so much negative comments on my in-depth review of FF6. It's actually kind of funny. Even the DS version song is good. I just prefer the SNES version. So here we are. Whoops, hang on. Here we are. This is it. This is the last boss. This is the last everything. Okay, there we go. So, you were doing in Destiny. That's the game you're playing. Aha! Gotcha. Nice, Preacher. Awesome. Congrats. I've actually done that before in other MMOs. And awesome, as they say. She hasn't even learned Meteor yet. Yeah, I'm getting tons of them. I really am. I just got another one 3 seconds ago. Someone who literally says, I'm getting annoying with my thing, so... Alright. Gonna have some voice acting. And some Michael McConaughey. As an aside, I think Zemus looks pretty awesome here. He literally does not have a lower body, nor should he. Alright, a few things I want to talk about before we continue. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Fusoya! Yeah, I know, they say it in the game. I prefer Fusoya, but anyways. So, in the SNES version, it feels like we get here right on the tail heels of those two getting here. In the DS version, they make it a little more clear, based on the way this lines up, that these two have actually been fighting Zemus for a little while now. That they've just been battering him and beating him, which again helps emphasize how strong he is. You'll also notice he hasn't been fighting back at all. In fact, in the DS version it's made abundantly clear. He actually wants them to destroy him, to kill him. This is something I find awesome, because Zemus knows that at this point in time his hatred, his power, has gotten so vast that is quite literally... Oh, thank you, Sean. He is quite literally hampered by having a body. And he knows that the last step to his freedom, and then his destruction of the blue planet, and then his destruction of everything, or whatever is next after that, is to become Zeromus, to become unhinged. and no longer be restricted. And I think that's just really cool, first of all, but also really, really gets across the point. When you're doing I'm going to go ahead and give a plus to story for the design of Zemus as a villain. I've talked about this before, and I'll talk about this again in other works, I'm sure. It is a very difficult thing to do to have a main villain who has very little screen time. You have to work very hard to emphasize that villain to make sure that the audience cares about them. Otherwise, it's like, all of a sudden, then there's this villain! I mean, I could point to FF9 as an example, but honestly, there are other better examples of that. So one of the things FF4 does very well is emphasize Zemus even when he's not actually on camera. And this is another good example of this. Golbez and Fusoya both unleashing on him whole tilt, barely bring him down, and the crystals, which are barely keeping him contained, and the fact that he wanted to die so he could be even less restrained. All of that just emphasizes that at this point in time, Zemus is basically destroying his own brain and becoming a force of hatred itself. As in, his own power is too much for his mind. Seriously. Yes, I am comparing him to Gygas from Earthbound. And I think it's an apt comparison. Zemus at this point is so stupidly raw powerful that at this point it is actually best for him to die. Second point I want to mention. Twincast is something that Palom and Porum can do. It's something that there's actually a lot of lore implications to, and it's actually a part of Primus. It's just not in the rule set because no one's figured it out yet. But the idea is if two mages have... It's hard to explain, but I want you to imagine how... Okay, everyone's mind works differently, right? Like, literally, in some cases, works differently. To the extent where one person who is literally thinking the same thing is viewing the same object, the actual electrical and chemical signals going through their brain is different than what would be on another person, right? But imagine, if you will, two people who were so in sync with each other, either because they had a connection or because they were that close or whatever, that they could basically think the same thing, and therefore both of them can cast in the same way. What I'm trying to say is that if person A casts Cure and person B casts Cure, the net result may be the same, but the method they use to cast it is different, okay? Twincast is the personification of the opposite of this. Two people who are so in sync with each other that they can actually unified cast an ability, a single spell, which is much, much stronger than they would be able to accomplish otherwise. And the twin cast that the twins can do in FF4 is a beautiful example of this. Even when you level him, even when he has access to the level 2 spells, the two abilities that Twin can cast in the SNES version and in the DS version are heads and shoulders way stronger than anything else anyone can do in the party at that point in time. It's stupidly powerful, and I think that's a lore thing, not just a gameplay thing. And it comes right back here with Golbez and Fusoya, both being able to do the same thing under these circumstances against this enemy, both being united against Zemus in this matter, and then casting freaking Twin Meteor. Fun fact, for the longest time, it was called White Meteor, I want to say? Or Holy Meteor, something like that. It was White Meteor, I'm pretty sure, back in the SNES version. And there were rumors, you have no idea how many rumors there were, that you could actually learn White Meteor, or Twin Meteor or whatever, under the right circumstances. You couldn't. It wasn't in the game. In the DS version, you actually can, because you can get the Twin Augment from the twins, and then give it to two people. And in fact, Rosa and Cecil can actually cast freaking Ultima if they both have it. And I really wish I'd remember to do that, just so I could show you guys Ultima on FF4. Anyways, so that's what I wanted to talk about there. Yeah, by the way, notice that Twin Meteor did quint 9 damage. By the way, his degeneration to his own hatred is part of why I say I don't think he was deliberately mind-controlling Kain during the descent into the core. I think it was a byproduct.
We did it. What a waste. Such incredible power, and all of it warped to evil ends.
Hey!
Oh, you've come.
Looks like we were too late. You were supposed to leave him for me.
Cecil.
Cecil.
This time I will finish what I set out to do. Zeromus, be gone!
So I know limitations of the system and whatnot, but I always picture Zeromus kind of how he is pictured in that cutscene. Just this literal tornado of nothing but darkness and hatred. Oh, by the way, it also makes sense that a being like Zeromus would literally be immune to the powers that Golbez wields. For the same reason that Cecil and his Dark Knight powers didn't work earlier, much earlier in the game. A nice little callback there. That is correct, Psychotic. You can only go up to the 65, etc., etc. In order to get Twin-Cast Twin Meteor, it's actually in the GBA and the PSP version, aka the version that I'm not playing. You have to give them one of the items you get at the end of the game. And, you know, that like, power up Edward and Young and all those, and you give it to them, and then they can cast Twin Meteor. Go ahead, Preacher. By the way, that's Michael McConaughey again.
Elder! Cecil and the others!
Indeed. Now is the time we pray for them. No, for the entire world. Alan, Olum, we must see that all the prayers laid here reach Cecil and his friends on the moon.
Cecil, my friend.
This is your chance. Please have courage.
We'll all be waiting for you.
Return safe. For the sake of the whole earth.
Rise up! Our prayers are with you. Come on, you can do it! Cecil! Everyone!
Great moon, please, hear our prayers.
Brother.
Cecil, it must be you.
Zeromus. This is the end for you, not us.
Funnily enough, I was just thinking, you know, it'd be horrible if I die on Zeromus. He's pretty mean on the DS version. I mean, he's always been mean. Zeromus has always been a difficult last boss. This was back in the era when the final bosses were still designed to be brutally difficult. And he is. So, insert Spirit Bomb joke here, but you know what? It still gets a positive. Farewell, Titans, forever. Yeah, Preacher. That wouldn't surprise me. Of course, I mentioned that myself, too. So yeah, Story Plus, because Spirit Bomb, yada yada yada, Dragon Ball joke, whatever. It's still well done. It is the individual version of the national version we had earlier. Earlier, all the nations of the world combined together to give us a shot at winning. Now, it's much more personal, which fits. It should be the in-depth personal perspective at the end, because this is Final Fantasy IV, the character game. It's all about the individuals. So I'm okay with that. Alright, so story time. I know I've said this many times. When I was playing this on the SNES for the very, very point of first point I ever played in this game, I got to this point and I'm like, Zeromus is shaking, and I actually ended up calling my friend Vincent and being like, I don't know what to do. The last boss is shaking and nothing I do does anything. I don't know what to do. Because I'm an idiot. I agree, by the way, Enigma. By the way, it's funny you say that, Enigma, because I've been asked before, what's with the background? I mean, why do we just suddenly go to this psychedelic background? Is it just because that's what happens in every Final Fantasy? Well, actually, I think we are literally inside the tornado. Look at how that looks. Isn't it? See how it's kind of spiraling around us? I think we're quite literally inside... Oh god, I forgot to turn the battle speed down. I might actually die here. I think we're literally inside the whirlwind of hatred. Also, some people have asked me what's up with the crystal. I've always believed, I don't have any proof of this, that the crystal is literally a device bestowed upon them by the other crystals, the 8 crystals, specifically to allow you to focus your heart, in Kingdom Hearts terms, into one shot, into one power. And that's why Golbez using it didn't mean anything, because it was Golbez. Cecil using it, on the other hand, will have a slightly different effect. So first we're going to throw Excalibur at him. Or get what? No! No! Ah! Why? Well, I just wasted Excalibur. Oh, jeez. Now I gotta be honest, the DS version of his song is a little too tame for me. I also think it's interesting, I never understood what I was looking at when I saw Zeromus in the SNES version. But now, I can actually see what he looks like, because I'm seeing him from the front. Yes, I just threw Excalibur, and it did nothing. Because I'm an idiot. Sorry, I'm thinking here. Okay, so Flare healed him. I wasn't actually ready for that. Yeah, this version of the song is just timid compared to the original. So, fun fact, he actually has, like, a lot of actions he can take. One of them is actually, to do nothing. That they specifically put in because the original designed fight for Zeromus was simply too difficult. And everyone was just getting super pissed off at it. Yeah, I thought so too, but it healed him, so whatever. Oh god, Big Bang! Big Bang! Ugh! Edge is dead. Yes, that's right, Big Bang still hurts. I gotta be honest, the first time I saw a spell called Big Bang, when I was playing this on the SNES, my first reaction was, he's gonna hit me with Big Freaking Bang?! That's the spell he's gonna use? Oh my god! Oh wow, I actually don't have enough for Bahamut now. Well, the good news is, he actually, none of the items carry forward in New Game Plus, so I can blow a Mega Elixir and it doesn't matter. I am going to go ahead and get Edge up, though. I need every ounce of damage I can on this guy. Mega Elixir. Yeah, I only have 2 Bahamut's in my monotank right now on Rydia, which is kind of insane when you think about it. And he's osmosing the crap out of me. Come on. Here. Get your action in. There we go. Yeah, Zeromus is a properly awesome last boss. It's actually one of my favorite last bosses in, like, all of history. He's up there at the very least. He does some awesome stuff. He is well-designed, he's fun, he's interesting. He's mean as hell. He has a wide variety of attacks. He will actually do something that I didn't even realize, oh god, was a big deal back in the day. He will actually remove your buffs if you happen to have any. Ugh, Edge is dead. He will remove your buffs. He will steal your mana. He will hit you with Big Bang, which hits like a truck. He counterattacks virtually everything you do to him. Yeah, there's definitely... Don't let me forget to put a plus to the gameplay for this boss fight. I'm not giving it to sound because this song kind of sucks. But, definitely to the boss fight. This is still a well-designed, awesome boss fight. I mean, yeah, Big Bang hurts like hell. Don't mistake me, but seriously? Yeah, by the way, he knows all the biggest magic. He can actually cast Meteor in some versions of the game. Oh yeah, by the way, he just cast Flare on everyone. For those of you not aware, Flare is a single target spell. Because Zeromus. Where is it? Ah, screw it, I'll use an elixir. Yep, there it is. There's Meteor. Knew it was coming. That might hurt. Ooh, Edge is dead. Yeah, by the way, he just spams Osmos. It's actually pretty horrible. It could be Alibus, or he's just cheating. It's one of the two. Alibus, excuse me. Yeah, Edge is not the Edgar of this group. Sorry, guys. Throw Gugnir at him. Gugnir? I don't know. Oh, we did it! We got him. Yeah, that is an awesome fight. Okay, I'm also going to give a plus to the story for the story and gameplay integration of that fight. No more game pluses, because we're basically done with that, and I've already given the plus and the minus for New Game Plus. I don't know how many pluses or minuses we're going to get from the endgame. Okay, that was actually really cool. Plus to graphics.
You've truly done it. I'd no idea there was such strength in you. You of the Blue Planet may have already grown more powerful than we of the Moon.
It does rather look that way, doesn't it?
Shut up, Edge.
But what of the final words Zeromus spoke?
As long as there is darkness,
there will always be evil in men's hearts. We, all of us, bear a touch of darkness, just as surely as we bear light. Much as with the twin sets of crystals. And the darkened underworld that rests beneath your planet's brighter surface. But as long as there is darkness, so will there always be light. Just as the light within you rose to overcome the shadow cast by Zemus.
Well, now that you mention it, I did feel a bit of glow.
Shut up, Edge!
Are you joking? It's a miracle Zemus didn't end up using you.
My love of justice kept him at bay, no doubt.
Well then, the time has come for me to join my people in their sleep. What will you do now?
We will return to our planet.
Our friends are waiting.
I see. You are lucky to have such friends. I look forward to the day we can meet again.
Might you permit me to accompany you?
You would join me?
I would. I cannot return. Not after all I've done. And I would very much like to meet my father's people. At least one time.
I see. Yes, our blood flows in your veins too. You know this will be a very long slumber.
I do. Cecil, you called me brother. I suppose I can expect no more than that. All you've suffered until now has been because of me.
We must go now and sleep. We will pray for the peace of your planet. Come, let us go.
Yes.
Cecil,
Is this all right, letting him go?
your brothers.
Farewell.
Cecil?
Farewell, my brother.
So, I gave a plus to the story in the middle of that, if you didn't catch that. Not only for the thematic, symbolic significance of the dichotomy thing, which I've actually already touched on, but the way it kind of comes together in the end here, especially with regards to Golbez and his belief that he has to avoid everything that has happened, everything that has come. Except this time he's doing it with a different perspective. The last time he hid from all of humanity so he could be turned into Golbez and conquer the world and all that fun stuff. This time he's doing it because he's willing to man up to what he's done and not try to... He believes he can't make up for it, so he's willing to, well, leave. Two bound by ties of blood, by time and fate, then rest apart, unto lunar light and Gaian abreast. In other words, literally, the rest of the prophecy specifically refers to Golbez and Cecil's separation. I don't know. I don't know how to explain how awesome it is what happened with Golbez there. It's just so appropriate that his story arc ends with him leaving. And After Years doesn't exist, so he never comes back. Oh... I need to give a negative to the sound, because they didn't time this properly, like they did in the SNES version. Then I'm giving a plus to the sound, because this song is awesome. In the SNES version, this bit of the song right here, where it's getting more upbeat, didn't start until the lunar whale was being birthed again. Excuse me. So FF4 ends, and a million fanfics begin. Poor Palom. Now, I will say one thing. This is very much the Return of the Jedi situation. In other words, everything wins, everything's done. The Final Fantasy IV has reached a logical and significant conclusion to its story arc. And that's one of the reasons I say FF4 did not need a sequel. That being said, and I know this is totally contradicting myself, but I've been kind of keeping this in the back of my my head this entire time. FF4 should totally have a sequel. You know why? Heir to the Empire. That's why. Because the type of story that should have been told after Final Fantasy IV was a now what story. They did it. They beat Zemus. The moon is gone. The Lunarians are removed from the equation. The Eidolons are at peace. The various nations have reached an accord. Now what? And there is a lot of now what potential in Final Fantasy IV. And then after years has you go fight God. Okay, here's the after years. You go fight God, the end. I have talked about after years already in this video. I do not think kindly of it. I'm just going to say that as nicely as I can. Yes, Samurai, I'm not kidding. I'm really not. The other moon is also an artificial moon that he's inside, and there's this whole thing about cycles of life and some other boring crap. One thing I find amusing about FF4 is virtually every character is royalty. You don't really think about it while they're out adventuring, but it actually makes sense because they show that throughout the game. Young, Cecil, Edge, Rydia isn't really, but she's like the next best step away from royalty. And Kain is obviously not, but you know. Yeah, I like that. Edge is like, oh, Rydia, I can't wait to be with you. And Rydia's like, and it just completely has nothing to do with him. Oh, speaking of royalty, there's Edward, who is now the king of Damcian. Yeah. It does make sense, though. It's also interesting to me because Final Fantasy V, believe it or not, touched on this idea. Final Fantasy V is in several ways, is a now what storyline. It happens after the adventure. You know what I mean? The adventure was the four warriors of Dawn fighting against Exdeath across God knows how much time and effort and across 2 worlds. Remember? And at the end of the game, those 4 warriors of light all became leaders and kings and princes and all that fun kind of stuff. And then we come along, and we're basically the backup heroes, but we have something that the original 4 Warriors of Dawn didn't have. We have the crystals backing us up, right? So it just kind of makes sense to me, the whole nobility thing in this one. It fits, if you know what I mean. It's also kind of a typical D&D thing that adventurers tend to rise to positions of leadership. This is actually very common in Faerun, specifically, for example. In Faerun, most of the major leaders of the world, especially political leaders, were at one point adventurers who ascended to power after finishing their adventuring. Yes, I do, Preacher. Not sure which ones yet, but I do plan to do more in-depth reviews. Even though I keep getting complaints about them, I still plan to keep doing them. Because I also get lots of positive feedback about them. And yes, I am a decent ways into Bravely Default. By the way, fangirls, Kane! And you'll never see his face. That was in the SNES version, too. He took off his helmet. Also, I love the idea that Kane goes specifically to Mount Ordeals to face his own darkness. Because if you remember, he never actually faced his inner darkness. He just moved on from it. Yeah, you can see him in Dissidia. If you haven't seen him, look up Dissidia Kane, alternate outfit. He looks really awesome. The Holy Dragoon outfit is, I believe, what it's actually called. You know what? One more plus to story. For, you know what? Hang on. A plus to story for the way that everyone's story arcs kind of reach a point where everything is concluded and awesome. And another plus to story for this ending in general. This is a really good ending. This is one of my favorite Final Fantasy endings ever. It is in every way an epilogue, and it feels kind of like a BioWare ending, like Dragon Age Origins, before that even was a thing. Because it touches on basically everything. It's like, okay, here's what's going on with the dwarves, here's what's going on with the Basidians, there's the moon, leaving, because again, space station ship, etc. Here's what's happening with Cecil, here's what's happening with Edge, you know, it just covers all the bases. That is one of two things, Javan. The other thing being Golbez without his armor. Which is also in Dissidia, by the way. And looks super badass. You'll have time, all the time you want later to get all that lovey-dovey stuff out of your system. I am on chapter 1, Chaosbringer. I'm nowhere. I just got the White Mage. Or no, I'm sorry. I just reached the Desert City. That's where I'm at. There's actually several alternate costumes I use primarily. For example, Cloud of Light and the Silver Kuja. The Angel of Death Kuja. There's a few others. That outfit looks really... Why didn't Rosa wear that the whole game? She looks awesome there! Can we have that as an optional thing? To have her just wear that outfit the whole game? Because that looks badass. There's Edge, calling Rosa a hottie, because he's a terrible human being. I love that there's no dialogue in this. You don't need dialogue for this scene. This is a wonderful example of visual storytelling. Yes, another plus to story. Screw you. For the visual storytelling in this scene, you don't need dialogue. It would just bog this scene down. I also love the implication. Actually, I'm sorry, it's not even implication. Rydia says it flat out. This is the first time these people have seen each other since the event. It's been some time. We don't know how long. At least months since the battle on the moon. And these people all these people haven't actually seen each other in those months. And so this is them getting back together. And you're right, this is in many ways the New Hope metal scene, and succeeds for the same reason I feel that does. Shut up, Edge. Hey, I'm totally cool, right? Wow, they're a little too happy about that. I already gave the negative for the music not be. Whoa there, buddy! not being synced properly. Rydia, you can still summon Bahamut. Just saying. So in the original FF4 on the SNES, the credits were just Starscape. In this one, they do this thing. Which, most of these credits are specifically for the people who worked on the DS version, and possibly the port, I'm not sure. The port to phone/PC. Bahamut, I want you to kill just that one person. Okay. Rydia! Oh, Tella. Yeah, 3DS did something like this too. Kingdom Hearts tends to do some good credits too, with actual new scenes. Yes, I have Preacher, but please don't spoil anything for the chat, for people who haven't played Trespasser. Single favorite character in all the FF series? Playable character or all characters? Because those are hugely different questions. Oh, that's a tough one, Ventures, but I'm going to say you asked more badass, not more heart-rending. So I'm going to go with Galoof's. Galoof's death scene... Shut up, Edge! Seriously, she's rejecting you. Look at her. Dude, get the hint! You are such a horrible human being. Hey, Bagan. Anyways, Galoof's death scene was so badass, they had to acknowledge why in-gameplay stuff wouldn't help heal him. I mean, his death scene was amazing. Yip yip ho ho ho! I am Michael McConaughey, and I am awesome! Generally main cast character, but so I have to specifically... Okay, damn. That's up to you, Preacher. You can just whisper me to it, it's not that hard. /W space A and the rest should fill in. Hemingway! Hemingway! Or excuse me, you're going my way now, aren't you? Hemingway! You're still awesome. Okay, favorite character across all of FF is Kefka. I don't have to think about that for longer than a millisecond. Sorry. There's just so much about his character that is awesome and well done and amazing and in-depth and incredible, and it's Kefka at the end. Follow-ups include, in no particular order, Cecil, Terra from Final Fantasy VI, Magus from Chrono Trigger, Sephiroth, Kuja, Yuri Lowenthal was Cecil, Karen Strassman was Rosa, Liam O'Brien, of course, as Kane. Oh, they got a bunch of people in for this one, look at that. Michael McConaughey, who is still awesome. Sorry, I'm a huge fan of Michael McConaughey as a voice actor. There are several characters I feel he is very definitively the guy. Yeah, Aqua from Kingdom Hearts, if we're counting Kingdom Hearts. I don't have any thoughts on... I'm going to go and answer this out loud, Preacher. I don't have any thoughts about that specifically. We simply know too little to actually deliberate on it, so... Celis is not in my absolute top 5 characters of all across FF, no. She's in my top, like, 50 or so. Not in the top 5. Suddenly Edge runs on the screen and gets stabbed! It is actually a mistranslation, or rather, it's an interpretation of the translation. Originally, Kefka is not quite as we interpret him. His original Japanese translation is he's basically a very crude, rough, he cusses a lot, he has a foul mouth, he's very inappropriate. And that's part of his character. When he was translated over, they took that and turned him into Kefka. And that was then interpreted on and based on, and then we have the character that we now have, who is the one that is most commonly accepted. Dissidia is probably one of the best ways to showcase how Kefka is usually seen, especially Dissidia Duodecim. I'm sorry, Aelivus. I think Sephiroth is a very interesting character, personally. Admittedly, some of that comes from Crisis Core, some of that comes from Dissidia, and... well, that's it, actually. But I do actually think that Sephiroth is an amazing, interesting character with a surprising amount of depth to him. And I feel like there actually is more of his story that could be told, you know? I feel like they could keep doing his thing. By the way, fun fact, Venters, would you like to guess how many people are in my town in Bravely Default? I'll just go ahead and tell you, it's 900 something. Gen Con was very good to me for my Bravely Default town. So this is kind of nice. Cecilia, Theodore, and Cluya looking at the moon. I understand, Aelivus. That's what I call that pendulum theory. I don't know if you've seen a lot of my work on YouTube or on stream, but I actually call that pendulum theory. If 500 people all gush about how something is amazing, certain people, and I am included in this, will tend to think of it more negatively than we should because we're just tired of hearing it. And vice versa. If 500 people bash something to hell and back, it's like, you get more kindly disposed toward it than you otherwise would be. Don't worry, Chaosbringer. Someday I will merge the timelines. And merge the worlds. I need to showcase something really quick. Give me just a moment here. God, it is really windy out. I may not be able to find it. Whatever. Okay, so you hit A. Let's go ahead and showcase the last thing here. And then it's like, hey, you want a new game plus? This doesn't have to be the end, unless it's the third play of the game. Yeah, right there. 3 times in a row. And we get the limit break augment, which lets us break the 4, which lets us break the damage break, so we can do more than quad 9 damage, basically. I don't know why it's limited. I've been looking into it, by the way. Apparently there are people who are thinking about, who are trying to mod the Steam version specifically, because it's a PC game now, and we could mod PC games, and they're trying to mod it so that we can have proper New Game Plus, which carries forward more than just the limited items, and not limit you to 3 New Game Pluses. If that mod ever comes out, this officially becomes just the best version of this game, period. I'm already saying the Steam version is the best version of this game, personally. But, yeah, so there it is. I'm just going to showcase it really quick. If I do this correctly. So this is how New Game Plus works. We're going to go and set it to hard. And then we're going to go through a cutscene while I look up something.
Lord Captain,
We're nearly to the Baron border.
So we are.
The trouble's him, too. Orders may be orders, but this goes too far.
I wouldn't mind that, Leander. I gotta be honest, I actually spent some time over the past couple of days I've been playing through FF4 researching why they limited New Game Plus to 3 times. And you know what the answer is? Anyone? Could anyone guess?
Lord Captain! We're the Red Wings, the pride of Baron! Must we now be thieves, sent to plunder from the weak?
Enough.
But Lord Captain, the Mysidians offered no resistance, and still we cut them down.
Listen to me. We did no more than what our kingdom's peace and
prosperity Alright, here's the answer.
required us to do.
I have no freaking idea.
The Mysidians knew too much.
I have not found
secrets.
any reason ever given, even an excuse for why they limited it.
It is not our place to question the orders of our king.
Kind of weird, if I'm being honest.
Lord Captain.
Lord Captain! Monsters at the fore!
Oh, hey, I need to do stuff. Auto battle. Here it is. Found what I was looking for. I'll show that off in a minute, though. Yes, it is, Elvis. Easier than you'd think, too. With the right setup. Alright, here we go, Saventers.
Everyone all right?
Time to play Suikoden, except I don't have Suikoden. I can't connect to my PS3. And the laptop can't run the emulator. So I'll just play it and talk to you about it. I'll, like, describe it.
Prepare for landing, men.
Yeah, Bravely Default just does everything right gameplay-wise, I swear to God. If only Bravely Default had an actually interesting story, it would be an amazing, phenomenal game. I'm telling you, every RPG out there needs to look at Bravely Default and say, oh, that's how they did things. Blah 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 blah. Oh, sorry. I hope so, Enigma. But I know it doesn't, because I've already seen it in Japanese. I'm telling you, Javan, every game out there could take some gameplay design lessons from Bravely Default. Literally all of them. It does so many things right. It's insane. The Bravely and the Default system. I know all of the story of both games, Gasbringer. It was spoiled. The big thing, which I'm not going to say out loud, was spoiled for me, and then a few other things were spoiled for me, and I said screw it, and I just read up on it. And now I know everything. There are not many Dark Knights across FF, you are correct, Venters. There's Leon from Final Fantasy II, Cecil, of course, and I feel like there's another one. Give me a moment. Other than FFT, of course, which I'm not counting. Isn't there like one more Dark Knight? Hang on. I'm gonna look that up really quick. It's one of the more rare classes amongst the Final Fantasy jobs. mean, it was a job in 10-2 as well. Looks like that's kind of it. It was in Bravely Default as well. Anyways, okay, so here we are. Well, you know what? I don't feel like having these. Why don't we give him no encounters and draw attacks? And yeah, you get it. So the augments that you've already learned stay. As you can see, the inventory still has the golden apple that I got from the original thing. It also has all the augments and the yellowtail that I already got from the previous team. So this is all the stuff that carries forward, basically. That's it. That's all I really wanted to show off. That's basically it. That's basically everything that is showcased. If I kept playing, I could show you that map completion is also carried on forward. But that's it. That's New Game Plus. That's it! Final Fantasy IV, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome freaking game. What's our tally? So, end of the day, we have a plus 11 to gameplay, a plus 22 to story. I should do an in-depth review of FF5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus 14 to music and sound, and a plus 20, an astonishingly high plus 20 to graphics. Hang on a second. Do I still have that? Hang on. I might have deleted it. I had been keeping a thing showcasing how what the end scores were for FF6 and for Chrono Trigger. And I don't remember what it is. I need to be writing these down so I could keep track of them for the future. But this is our final score for FF4. And this is some awesome... This is actually two pictures that I've just kind of merged together here. Some people have been asking about this. This is just one of the FF4... Hang on. So there's the Golbez picture. And this is just one of the FF4 wallpapers they came out with when the DS version was coming out. This is what the whole thing looks like right here. Yong, and Idiot, and Kane, and Rydia, and Rosa, and Cecil, and Edward, and Paul, and Porum. Yeah, anyways. So, I guess that's it. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, write down my things. I'll do some other stuff. I do intend to start streaming again basically immediately. I'm going to take a bit of a bio break, get another drink, brush my teeth, and then I'll be back. So I'll see you in a bit, guys.